Yo guys, what's up? It's Vatic here. I'm bringing you guys a quick tutorial. I'm going to show you guys how to Datamosh. Recently refined my process. It's becoming more common knowledge how to Datamosh easily now, and the revisions of the programs which successfully allow you to Datamosh are much more well known. And so I've decided to create a pack, a Datamoshing pack, which includes every revision of the programs used to Datamosh, and they should essentially ensure that you are capable of Datamoshing if you follow this tutorial. So you want to download the pack out of the description. First of all, you want to install FFD Now, FFD is a normal installation process, but you want to make sure that you include the compatibility with VirtualDub that you see here. Tick this box while you're installing it. Um, there's a image of the settings inside of the pack if you need to reference it. Besides that, you want to extract the AVI demux RAR and the VirtualDub RAR into a similar directory, and I've also created a folder for my footage as well as installing FFD Show into the same directory just for the sake of keeping my computer a little bit cleaner. Um, Once you've done all of that, you're pretty much ready to go and you can follow this tutorial and you can data mosh to your heart's content. I'm going to show you guys two different types of data moshing. I'm going to show you a data moshing style which is essentially a transition between two pieces of footage. And I'm also going to show you guys a second type of data moshing which is commonly referred to as the bloom effect. But we'll get to that in a bit. First of all, what you want to do is select the footage in whatever video editor you use and render it out as an uncompressed AVI. These are my settings in Sony Vegas. As you can see, it's all pretty normal. It's uncompressed, 1080p, 30 frames per second. We're going to do that for both of these pieces of footage. Okay, so now we can go over into VirtualDub 9.1 or 1.9.1 and open VirtualDub. Open the video file. We're going to open the first one, and what we want to do is go to Video, Compression, and if you installed FFD Show correctly and enabled the compatibility with VirtualDub, you should see the FFD Show video codec listed here. We're going to select this, tick force keyframes every 500 frames. Now, if your footage is longer than 500 frames, I would recommend that you increase this proportionally. So, save as AVI, VDub1. You're going to do that for the second piece of footage as well. Now, technically what we're doing here is we're applying the FFD Show codec to these pieces of footage, and we're also forcing keyframes, which I'll explain what that does in a moment. We're going to make sure the compression is the same for the second piece of footage, save it as an AVI, VDub2. And now we're ready to move into AVI demux 2.5. So, AVI demux 2.5. This is a really old revision of the program, but it works really well for data moshing. It's provided in the pack. Just have to extract it. Once we open up AVI demux 2.5 folder, we're going to run this application, AVI demux 2_qt4. Now, it's simply just a matter of importing the videos from VirtualDub in the order that you want them to be data moshed. And if everything went correctly, you're going to notice that down here in the frame type, the very first frame is an iframe, and every frame preceding that is a p frame. Now that looks to be the case here, so I think we're safe to begin data moshing. We can append, which essentially means add on the second half of the footage. And as we scrub through this, I'm just going to click this really quick, because scrubbing doesn't really work well in this old version of the program. We should see that the first frame of the second part of the footage also has an iframe, but then every frame preceding that is also a p frame. So that's what the FFD Show codec did in VirtualDub for us, and that just makes our lives a lot easier when it comes to data moshing. The traditional data moshing effect is simply removing this iframe from the second piece of footage. In order to do that, all we do is go to the frame which is denoted as an iframe in the frame type, press A, move forward a single frame, and press B. Now we can go to edit, copy, no, edit, delete. We delete this frame, and that is essentially the data mosh done. You won't see anything in this, and you can scrub through and check. There's not going to be an iframe essentially in the second part of the footage now. You won't see anything in here, but as soon as we save this as a video, and we'll call this Datamosh AVI dmux, and you have to denote it as a file type, so .avi. Press no to smart copy, otherwise it won't work, and press OK. So now we essentially have a Datamosh piece of footage, and if you want to observe the Datamosh, what you can do is go to virtual dub and open it. Open the file that you just exported out of AVI dmux, and we can play this. And as you can see, we have successfully datamoshed these two pieces of footage. Now, if you try to import this file here in our footage thing, Datamosh AVI dmux into Vegas, it'll give you an error, or into whatever editing program you use, because it's essentially a corrupted file at the moment. So what you want to do is, once you're in virtual dub observing to see whether or not it worked, make sure that you change back to uncompressed and you save it as an AVI, and Datamosh ready. So as you can see, there's a lot of rendering that needs to be done in order to make this Datamosh usable in your videos. All in all, we have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 renders for a 2-scene Datamosh. There's a second type of Datamoshing which I'm going to show you guys now. I'm going to close down this older version of AVI dmux, open this, and we're going to open the VDubbed version once again. And what we're going to do this time around, if you're interested in trying this effect out, is we're going to press F3 and tick show motion vectors. Now what this will do is will give us a bunch of little arrows which denote the movement of the clip. So if you want to scrub through here, you can see that certain points in the clip have a lot of movement. You see a lot of these arrows are huge. So what we're going to do is basically select one that has a lot of movement. This probably has the most, but doesn't have as many vectors. What we're going to do is select this one, move forward a single frame, just the same as deleting it, press B. And now instead of going to delete this frame, what we're going to do is copy and paste it. So Control C, Control V, you can click it, or you can use a shortcut. I'm going to use a shortcut, so Control C, Control V. Now, you spam this. I'm pressing this multiple times right now. And this is essentially copying and pasting the P frame, which has information about the direction that the frame should be moving. Now, you can play around with this and get a feel for how it actually glitches it, but you can kind of tailor how you want your video to be glitched, depending on which frame you decide to copy paste. What we're going to do now is the same process as after we've datamoshed it. Save the video. Just call this bloom. Some people call this the bloom effect. .avi or AVI dmux. Once again, say no to the smart copy. And now we should see that in virtual dub we can open this bloom and we can observe a second type of datamoshing, which I believe is pretty cool. That's it. So what you need to do is the same as the other one. You need to render it out as an uncompressed AVI again if you want to put it back into your video editor. And you should be able to import both of those files that we've created today with two different types of datamoshing back into the video editor. And you are set to go. Bloom Datamosh. As you can see, we have that one working perfectly fine in our video editing program, and this one working perfectly fine in our video editing program. So that is datamoshing, and it's relatively simple once you get all of the revisions of the programs correct. Hope you guys have fun messing up your videos. If you have any questions, feel free to send me a tweet on Twitter. I've got links to my social media stuff in the description. And yeah, thanks for watching. Hope you guys enjoy. Peace.